Now we're going deeper into the understanding of business angels. Who's the right angel for you? Whom should you try to get on board in your business? To do that task, it's important to understand what business angels are about. And what we did in one of our studies, we tried to differentiate 4 types of business angels, and this is our typology here. And we differentiated basically 2 dimensions. The first dimension is the question of how much time does a business angel spend per investment. So how much time does he spend into your business, for example. The second question is how many investments does he have in the current portfolio, which to some extent also tells you how much time he can spend in per investment. So they to some extent related. However, it's a different dimension. And if you look deeper into that, you can differentiate 4 types of angels. You can say, okay, the one who doesn't spend too much time into an investment, but he has a low number of investments, is the so-called part-time angel. Typically, a person who has a different job, who does business angels besides his regular job, might be a CEO of a big corporate, and you want to have him on board because he has some industry experience, but especially has some network you can share. I'll get back to that in a minute. And the one who still spends not much time into an investment, but has a high number of investments, is the so-called portfolio investors. There are also portfolio investors amongst business angels. And I know guys, and I think you've seen Cornelius Bursch over there, it said he has more than 200 investments. So these are people who invest in many companies. They play a portfolio game with them. And this is actually what they say, they spray and pray. They spray their money and pray that one of these investments is going to be big and successful. Basically, the second type of investors. Now I started with 2 and 3. I should have started with 1, and now I get to those who spend more time per investment and differentiate number of investments. So the one who has a low number of investments spends a lot of time as a so-called selective caretaker. Those are former entrepreneurs in many cases who already did a successful business, who don't need to work anymore, but they love to do some selective investments. They don't want to go full-time into those investments, but only selectively helping the angels to develop. But you can use them in more extensive ways if necessary. And the last type are the so-called full-time angel investors. Those are the ones who also spend more time into investments, but have a higher number. So this is basically what they do in their lives, angel investments. They have more investments and they spend more time. So this is what they dedicate their life for. First of all, if you want to look at that in first instance and try to understand as a startup CFO, whom do I tackle in which case, you can basically try to differentiate over here and say, okay, below the ones who do not have too much time to spend per investments, that is more a network business. So you'd like these people on board because they have a network to someone you'd like to know. Maybe they have industry experience, can help you there, but they don't help you too much. And this is, on the other hand, this is an experience game. So they can actually help you build your business, the ones who spend more time in per investment. But this is just a first differentiation, and it's always hard to look at an angel and say, okay, this is the one type, this is the other type. Also, we try to do that. And if you look at very popular examples, we try to find examples for the 4 roles. And the selective caretaker, so I've gone back, remember these are the ones who have more time per investment, but not really many investments. Katharina Fake. She built her own business. Now she's selectively going into other businesses, but really helping them to develop their business. And because she's helping them, she has a very low failure expectation. So it's not a portfolio strategy. She really wants to bring every business she invests in into a success. On the other hand, going down here to number 2, the part-time angel, it's interesting to see. But Ashton Kutcher, for example, and also popular soccer players in Germany are business angels. Why should you have someone like Ashton Kutcher as a business angel? And he invested in Skype, Airbnb, and so on. So why have him? Well, the thing is, he probably knows people on the one hand, and he's a very popular face. So if he ever talks about you, people believe in him a lot more than other people who are unknown. So he doesn't need too much time, and besides that, he has a job to do as an actor, so he doesn't have too much time to spend in your business. But he should talk about you, or even if he has to call someone you'd like to get to know. I mean, probably everyone is picking up the telephone line when Ashton Kutcher calls you. So this is typically the network business. Going further to the portfolio investors, so those who do not spend too much time per investment, but have a high number of investments. Ron Conway is said to be a super angel. Actually, he is successful also with his investments. You see some of the investments down here. But it's more a portfolio game. So he invests into a business. He doesn't have too much time. So he pushes the risk-return relationship. He's much closer to a VC. However, he understands what it means to build a business. And the full-time angel investor, having the high number of investments too. Reid Hoffman, who was a VP of PayPal and founder of LinkedIn, partner Greylock Capital, also a VC right now. He's called Silicon Valley's Uber investor. So he's the one who does it all, and he dedicates his life into his diversified portfolio. But he tries to help every of these portfolio companies. If this is possible or not, that's a different question. And if this is true or not, this is also a question which I'm happy to discuss, whether Reid Hoffman is type 4, type 3, or someone else. This is not the main takeaway. The main takeaway is, if you look at the second wing, besides capital, so how can an angel help you? There's actually 2 things. And the one is he helps you with his experience capabilities, hands-on. He goes into your business, you call him, he tells you what to do, and you can do it extensively. And the second value they can add is network. They know people. Sometimes you can combine it also, but that's the takeaway. So if you as a startup CFO would like to go deeper into understanding who's the right business angel for my venture, think about the network you need and think about the capabilities you need. And that's the main takeaway here.